Welcome back Tech Talk fans, this is your host Adam Morgan. The topic today is very personal to me as a non-speaking autistic. We are going to address a very important societal belief and barrier for non-speaking individuals. We are also going to offer new strategies to combat these societal attitudes. The question we are going to ask and answer is, what are the societal barriers to effective communication for non-speaking individuals? The biggest critics are those from the American Speech-Language Hearing Association, AHSA, which warns against methods such as Rapid Prompting Method, RPM, and Facilitated Communication FC as they feel it is harmful to the non-speaking individual. They state, you can't tell whether the words being spelled out belong to the autistic child, or to their aide. This is called facilitator bias, a documented phenomenon in which a helper unintentionally influences the message produced. They go on to say that these methods are harmful and abusive to the individuals who are non-speaking. In contradiction to AHSA's statements, Dr. Edlin Peña shares, communication between two neurotypical individuals involves a dynamic exchange of words colored by expressions and emotions. Communication is not enacted independently. To say that traditional conversations do not involve influence from one communicator to another is unrealistic. The judgments made by AHSA are very misguided and actually hold the individuals who are non-speaking to an impossible standard of communication. Every communicator in the world influences every conversation they are engaged in. The very people who are educated in this field are focusing on the method instead of the human being. The American Disabilities Act clearly states that every human being has the right to use and choose their preferred communication method. Therefore, AHSA is breaking the law, oppressing, and marginalizing a whole group of people, engaging in harmful and abusive practices by dehumanizing us, and setting a standard that is impossible for anyone to meet. I'm suggesting instead of judging those that communicate differently than you, seek to understand. Focus on building and extending trust to your clients who are non-speaking. Be an active listener, self-reflect on your current practices, seek to understand and not judge, have an open mind and heart, and humanize your clinical trade. The non-judgmental listening cycle is a great tool to gain insight into someone else's perspective. Listen to what is not being said in the nonverbal cues of your non-speaking clients. Counseling strategies and methods should be looked at and used as a unique perspective that can bridge the gap for those non-believers. Dr. Kapoor discusses the psychological barriers to communication, stating, if someone is communicating with another individual with an attitude of disinterest or unwillingness, then the process of communication will not be effective. In this case, it would be believed that attitude of the communicators is inappropriate for the purpose of making the process of communication effectual. It is therefore considered crucial to overcome the psychological barriers. It is the individual himself who decides whether he/she possesses efficient communication skills. I truly believe that the speech pathologists that believe what AHSA tells them, are experiencing a psychological barrier and a belief system that is outdated. Instead of focusing on the method of communication someone chooses to use, take the time to look inside yourself and ask, what can I do differently to create a mutually respectful and trusting relationship to open up meaningful communication that works for both of us, without judgment? You can't do differently until you think differently. Just because we are non-speaking does not mean we are non-thinking. We are human beings that deserve the right to choose what communication method works best for us, not anyone else. You may not believe in my method, but you can, and should respect it.